In this video, we got another episode of this series where I do rate and improve your guys' teams. You guys will send me your squads over on Twitter at xevantanaka, and I'll usually put out a tweet every 3 or 4 days or so asking for squads, and then you guys will reply to that tweet with how much MT you guys have your squad, and I'll pick about 6 squads and obviously the MT you guys have. So make sure you guys are putting that, because if you don't let me know how much MT you have and I can't see in the top right for whatever reason, I'm not going to put your squad in the video. So let me know how much MT you guys have. Let me know anything about like your play style or just cards you're maybe looking to buy, maybe cards you don't like, because I feel like sometimes I'll recommend a card and potentially you might hate that card. So let me know if you like don't like this one card, but I might recommend him to you. Like for example, a Men Thompson. I'm going to recommend Dark Matter Men Thompson for probably a lot of people's squads in this video because I do think he's really, really good. But if you don't like a Men Thompson, maybe let me know something like that before I do look at your squad. But the first team here of the video, guys, is going to be sent in from Big Johnson. He says he's got 330,000 MT to work with. Think I might sell the Dr. J and go for Peja though. 100% I would agree with that. Sell Dr. J and get the free Peja. He's probably, I don't know if he's a better card than Dr. J, but he's on the same level. Like he's not much far off him if he is. So I do think it's nice to be able to sell that card. I'm not sure how much he really goes for nowadays, but sell him, get Peja. Your 2 shooting guards are good. I mean, you could maybe upgrade Brandon Roy if you wanted to, but I think your point guards are fine. To me, I think getting Josh Giddey is a big upgrade over Magic, but if you're not able to get Peja and Giddey, then just go for Peja. I think Magic is fine, but for me personally, I would try to get Josh Giddey and Peja to play over Magic and to play over Dr. J. Your small forwards are fine. I think Josh Smith and LeBron get the job done. If you wanted to get Pink Diamond Beasley over LeBron off the bench, I think that could be an option, but you don't necessarily have to do that. Your power forwards are good, Tim Duncan and Moses Malone. Now, Joel Embiid, I think you could probably sell that card, dude. I don't think he's really that great of a card, in my personal opinion. Get Pink Diamond Donovan Clinging. I'm not lying. That card is so good at the center position. I would start him at center and then use the MT if you want to get like a Pink Diamond Wemby as your backup center position. That's what I would do with your squad. If you want to keep Embiid, or if you maybe want to keep any other cards that I told you to sell or not use, you can, but just that's what I would do with your squad, and those are my upgrades I would make. Looking at the next squad is going to be sent in from Jack. He's got 400,000 MT to work with, and he's saying any suggestions would be helpful. He's got about 400,000 MT to work with. Devin Booker and Kidd, really good point guards. I think your shooting guard position to me is probably lacking the most. It's not like Dr. J and Brandon Ingram are bad cards, but we'll talk about that here in a second. I like AK, I like Beasley, perfectly fine with me. Tim Duncan and Clinging I think are really good. Just personally, I would have Hakeem at the 4 and have Clinging at the 5 actually in game. And again, it's one of those situations where I just don't think Embiid is that great of a center card, if I'm being completely honest. If you want to run Embiid at power forward, I think that's fine, but at center I feel like you need some more height. So for me personally, what I would do is get Pink Diamond Wemby for your starting center position, or you can start Clinging and then have Wemby off the bench, whatever you want to do. But I would start Wemby, have him with Tim Duncan. I do think that's a good front court. And then for your shooting guard position, I think you can bring Dr. J off the bench, but for your starting shooting guard position, this is a squad I'm going to recommend. Men Thompson. He's going to be that perfect 2 guard next to Devin Booker and AK for your squad specifically, because he can be that secondary ball handler to Devin Booker. Like Booker can be your main scorer, a guy that's going to run your offense, but you can have a Men Thompson as that secondary guy who can score buckets for you, but he's also going to be a great defensive card. So for you, I think you really just need 2 upgrades. You need a Men Thompson at shooting guard, Dr. J off the bench, and then go get Pink Diamond Wemby as your starting center. And then again, I would just swap around Hakeem and Donovan Clinging, making sure to have Hakeem at the 4 and Clinging at the 5. Looking at the next squad here sent in from Lightning, I think is how you pronounce his name, at least on Twitter. He says gonna get Duncan eventually. I understand that. Aiming for Josh and Peja. Peja's gonna play small forward, so Nick and Dr. J can get playtime. So he wants to get Peja Stojakovic. He's gonna play Matt small forward to keep Dr. J and Nick Young as his shooting guards. I think that's perfectly fine. Your point guards are good budget cards. You say you are going to get Josh Giddey, so definitely get Josh Giddey as your starting point guard. You can go Josh Giddey, Dr. J, Peja. I'm kind of seeing not a lot of defense there. I guess Giddey's a pretty good defender, so you go Giddey, Dr. J, Peja, Miles Turner, Clinging. I like that. Clinging, yeah, I think him and Miles Turner are good in the front court. That's fine with me. Now your bench needs a lot of improvemement, and I think that's where I'm going to spend the majority of your MT. So for backup point guard, there's a bunch of different routes you can go. If you want to go for more of a defensive card, which is what I'm going to recommend, I would just get Pink Diamond Dyson Daniels, but then I would go Pink Diamond Beasley as your backup small forward. You know, you're going to have good defense with Dyson. You're going to have really good offense with Nick Young and Michael Beasley. And then for power forward, you want to have a really good defensive card. I think Dino makes sense, but there's also a bunch of different options you can go with if you want to spend more MT, because you have 800k to spend. You can go get a Dark Matter Chet. You can go get a Dark Matter Sar. There's a lot of great cards in this game that you can go ahead and get, but then again, I know I'm recommending Pink Diamond Wemby a lot, but he is so good for 100,000 MT that I think if you get like a Dark Matter Sar, a Pink Diamond Wemby for your backcourt, you could probably start those cards and then have Miles Turner and Donovan Clingy off the bench. But I do think you need to improve your backup point guard and improve your backup small forward. I think Dyson and Beasley keeps it cheap. It's going to save you a lot of MT. If you want a different suggestion, a different route to go with, maybe go Manu Ginobili at backup point guard and go Luol Deng as your backup small forward. That's just another kind of route you can go with, give you other options. For me, to save MT, so you can maybe go buy a Sar, go buy some centers and power forwards that are better, I would just go Dyson Daniels Pink Diamond, Michael Beasley Pink Diamond. They're going to cost you like 60,000 MT between the two of them, and I do think they're really, really good for their price. But now looking at the next squad here, sent in from Maurice, I think is how you pronounce his name. He says, this is my team right now, full Dikembe, and I'm not sure if I should sell my Wemby. He has nearly 30 Hall of Fames and 10 Legend Badges. What would you recommend? So with this type of squad, you do have Wemby with 10 Legend Badges and 30 Hall of Fames. If I'm being honest, if you have Dikembe, you can survive without Wemby. Start Dikembe with Mutombo, sell your Wemby because you only have 54k, right? So what I would do is run D-Rob probably as your backup center. I like D-Rob a little bit more at the center position just because his jump shot isn't like the best jumper in this world. So have Dikembe and D-Rob as your two centers. I like LeBron and Beasley as your two small forwards. This is the type of team that I would use your Wemby money on, and I would go get an Amen Thompson. Now, I don't know how much your Wemby is going to sell for. I would assume he's got to sell for at least 700, 800k. Again, you got to take 10% off of that for tax, but I think you're definitely going to have enough to go ahead and get yourself that Dark Matter Amen Thompson. And then whoever you want to keep as your backup shooting guard, I'm assuming Brandon Roy, since you have him starting. So you can have Brandon Roy as your backup shooting guard and have that Amen Thompson starting. Point guards, I like Stephon Castle. I'm not a huge fan of LaMelo Ball. If you're going to be grinding for a card in the event, I do think you need to go after Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey is going to be great for you. He's going to play really good defense. He's got a good jump shot. And then what you can do for your backup power forward position is honestly just go get Donovan Clingy. I think he can play either power forward or center next to D-Rob. If you want to run D-Rob at the 4, Clingy at the 5, or swap that around, he's another card that I would definitely recommend grinding for in the event. So I would get Josh Giddey. I would get Amen Thompson. I would get Donovan Clingy, and I would personally go ahead and sell Victor Wembanyama. Looking at the next squad here, guys, sent in from Rolling Loud. He says he's only got 30,000 MT, but looking at your squad, dude, unless you're like the biggest Michael Jordan fan in this world, if you are, perfectly fine to keep him. But if you're not a huge MJ fan, go ahead and sell Michael Jordan. I would probably go ahead and get Dikembe Mutombo to have your two centers on lock. I would personally move Bol Bol to honestly the bench. I wouldn't play Bol Bol whatsoever. Have your two centers be Dikembe and Mark Eden. Have your two power forwards be Gasol and Tim Duncan. Small forwards be Giannis and Weber. Now, I would personally play Devin Booker and Kidd as your 2 point guards. You're good there. And then for shooting guard, again, just go ahead and get an Amen Thompson. You're not going to be spending much of that MJ earnings. Like, you're going to make a lot of MT from selling your MJ, and you're going to get Dikembe, you're going to get Amen Thompson, and that's pretty much all you're going to do, and that's going to make a huge improvement to your team. For me personally, I think that's a huge improvement. And then, guys, the last team of the video here is going to be sent in from Rand, and he says 4 million MT liquid and another million MT in assets. His Wemby has 15 legend badges, which is insane. So definitely going to be keeping Wemby on the squad. If I'm being completely honest, man, I'm just going to give you the suggestions to make a crazy team. You don't have to go ahead and do this, but if you want to make a crazy team, at point guard, again, grind for Josh Giddey. Backup point guard, you can spend a lot of MT. Go get like a Stephon Castle as your point guard. Have your 2 point guards be Josh Giddey and Stephon Castle. For your shooting guard position, definitely get Amen Thompson. He is so good at the 2. And then for your backup shooting guard position, I don't know if you want to spend that much MT on like a Kawhi Leonard, but you could. So again, we're going to go Amen Thompson and Kawhi. Small forwards, definitely get a Beasley, whether it's the Dark Matter Beasley or the Pink Diamond, and then get either like AK, Tim Thomas, or Luol Deng to be your other small forward. Your 2 power forwards, again, it depends. How big of an upgrade do you want to make? But I think just something simple and not too much MT to spend is get Alex Sarr, get Chet, maybe you like Hakeem, maybe you like Embiid, maybe you like D-Rob. Those type of power forward cards you could go for. But again, I would personally just go for Sarr and Chet. I think they're most worth their price tags in my opinion. And then for your center position, run Dikembe or Mark Eden, whoever you do prefer, as your starting or your backup center. And guys, those are going to be all my suggestions to all of your guys' teams. If you guys want to let me know your squads and MTs and how much MT you guys have down below, you guys can comment that under this YouTube video, and I'll try to give you guys my best suggestions. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.